Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm going to show you today is how the Biden administration, through the DOJ and Merrick Garland, has made a stunning, earth-shattering announcement. They're doubling down on crime, which is interesting because it doesn't exist, but they're doubling down anyway because we all have eyes. Everything that I'm about to show you is linked in the description box below. And don't worry, gun violence is not going to escape the ire either, because we have got some gun control to discuss as well. Now, of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. We are driving freedom forward to the next generation every single day, 2 and 3 times daily, and thank you so much for that consideration. And the content today is made possible by American Hartford Gold. I'm going to show you a quick word, and then we're going to get right to this. And the content today is brought to you by American Hartford Gold. And brothers and sisters, with everything popping off around the world, wars cracking off, we've got inflation issues, we've got stock market volatility, we have cash concerns, we have oil concerns. It's a good time to take a look and at least know your options with American Hartford Gold. They are dedicated to offering gold, silver, platinum, coins, and bars for your investing needs. Whether you want to do it delivered to your door or you want an IRA, Roth IRA, 401k, TSP, they've got options. This is something you guys should check out. At American Hartford Gold, they aim to educate clients about investments in the precious metal industry, strive to provide unparalleled customer service built on trust, integrity, and absolute transparency, while holding a goal of achieving 100% customer satisfaction. Click the link in the description or call 844-727-3199. That's 844-727-3199, or text Langley to 65532. Again, that's 844-727-3199, or text Langley to 6553. All right, beautiful people. You remember that thing where the Democrats in power, like Biden and Merrick Garland and Hochul, they all say that crime doesn't exist, but at the same time, crime is horrible and they need to fix it. It's kind of like when they passed the Safer Communities Act for the gun control, the bipartisan one. It was the beginning baby step, which didn't do anything, but it was also the most amazing gun control thing that has ever happened. You know how they try to have their cake and eat it too? Well, we've got one going on here, and it's just getting comical at this point. They're going to try to tell you in this article that there is no crime issue. But because there's a crime issue, we're doubling down in order to save Biden's political butt. All right, listen to this, and we're going to weave in a few gun control things that don't make a whole lot of sense. Check this out. We are doubling down, Attorney General Garland announces new initiatives to combat violent crime. But how is that possible? Violent crime, we were just told by MSNBC and CNBC and NBC and Chris Hayes that it's never been lower. There's never been a bigger drop because Biden is amazing. And yet they announced doubling down on crime. What? I just showed you all sorts of things from New York this week around drugs, guns, migrants, sanctuary cities, squatting, completely released by the woke progressive policies. They're trying to cover this up by saying they're doubling down on a problem they say doesn't exist. I'm going to reinforce that point a lot. Let's continue. Attorney General Merrick Garland visited Chicago Wednesday to highlight decreases in violent crime around the country and announced a surge of investments and resources that he said will be aimed at doubling down on recent progress by law enforcement and their local partners. You remember the last time they were in Chicago? It was about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and the Chicago residents quite literally said, "We don't want you here." Remember that? I did a video on it. But this is also the same people who are looking at a graph of violent crime 30 years back that is literally falling off of a cliff. It was like 750 per capita, and it went from 350 to 380 in a 1 year period during the pandemic. And then it falls off a cliff because it reverts back to the norm, and they're touting it as Biden being amazing. While the criminal DA, like the DAs are letting criminals out, the discretion of judges letting bail out or no bail criminals just walk around. Cops are being killed with people who are arrested 14 and 21 times with guns in gun control states. I mean, literally, there's nothing to see here. In fact, we're just doubling down to stop the crime that doesn't exist because we need to stop the crime, but it doesn't exist. Look, we're doing something, but the problem doesn't exist, but we're doing something. It is so comical, guys, and this dovetails into what we've been saying on the video last night. Trump literally is making this part of his campaign because it's that obvious. Presidential campaigns don't just make random things that have no resonation part of their campaign promises and conversations. Showed you the video last night, but let's continue. I want to show you some more Garland stuff. These declines are not just about abstract statistics, Garland said. As you know so well, they represent people who are still here to see their children grow up, to work towards fulfilling their dreams and contribute to their communities. Fear. There's no problem, but there's a big problem. You need to be afraid because we're here to help you, because we're doubling down on the problem that doesn't exist. Guys, I mean, I thought politics season was going to be stupid. It's starting out to be real stupid. I mean, like, genuinely. Garland's comments come in an election year when violent crime is a major campaign issue and is one that Biden's opponent, former President Donald Trump, has attacked him on. While violent crime is dramatically falling, Trump and other Republicans have criticized the president over his handling of crime, often mentioning several high-profile crimes that are alleged to have been committed by immigrants who crossed the southern border illegally. How difficult is this? The border is in a state of chaos. Everyone knows it. Even Democrats know it. Independents know it. Republicans know it. It's a massive, massive inflection point around the election. Crime is up. Big cities, big blue cities, are providing all of the problems that we can focus on, like New York, like I've hit very hard this week. But don't worry, don't believe your lying eyes, because crime is actually on the way down, because Biden is so amazing. The problem, and this is something that I really want to show, and then I'll get you into some stats. The thing that they are struggling with is they are not competing against a Republican marketing narrative, because let's face it, the Republicans' marketing narratives are always very weak and they aren't usually too convincing. What they're struggling against is the general overall perception that the state of crime in our nation, through social media sharing and through the things they can't control, are extremely poor. They're struggling with the common perception, and they're trying to label it as the Republican marketing tactics, which fooled you. It's not. But anyway, let's continue, because you can't believe your lying eyes. This is the hallmark across the entire board. But the DOJ is being utilized as a propaganda tool. Check this out. In remarks at a conference for federal grantees, Garland pointed to statistics showing that last year, the U.S. saw the largest one-year decline in homicides in half a century, including a 13% decrease in last year in Chicago. While at the same time, they still need gun control, though. Do you see? Like, it's the biggest joke on the planet. We need all the gun control because violent crime is so horrible, and after all, these rights are bad for everybody. But crime has gone down at unprecedented levels, so we're not going to say anything about gun control right now because we're so amazing. Even though we got no gun control, it turns out we didn't need gun control, but we can't say that, so now crime's down. You should vote for us again. What? And here's where the bipartisan act comes in. He credited the progress in part to the Biden administration's implementation of the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, which included new statutes that federal prosecutors have used to charge gun traffickers and individuals who straw purchase firearms. The law also provides $250 million in grants for the department to invest in community-based violent prevention initiatives over a 5-year period. And wouldn't you know it, the money I'm about to tell you about is being distributed to the same areas. Isn't that weird? We're doubling down our efforts, and also here's $78 million. Make sure to remember who gave it to you. Guys, we have clips and we have covered on this channel on Second Legacy how the Safer Bipartisan Communities Act did literally nothing on the customer-facing or the end-user-facing piece around the actual statistics of crime. What it did was allow the ATF to automatically check 18, 19, 20-year-olds on behind a mandatory 10-day waiting period, which is an infringement of their rights. Then it allowed everyone to reclassify who is a gun dealer if you sell one gun to somebody. Then they put all sorts of money in there to bribe states into red flag laws. None of these things are contributing to what they're describing, but at the same time, it did nothing. It did everything. I'm really trying to drive that point home. This is all propaganda. But let me show you where the money's going, because I'm sure that's not related at all. In his speech Wednesday, Garland said $78 million of those funds will be made available to applicants beginning Wednesday. $78 million. Weird. Remember who gave this money to you when it comes to election time, because we care about you. Those funds will go directly to organizations like those represented in this room that are making strides in driving down violent crime and building community trust across the country, Garland said. But I thought there was no violent crime. Guys, on this channel, I strive to give you the contradictions. I strive to bring you all the information so it puts into a clear understandable, bite-sized, shareable package of what they're doing to us and utilizing our rights as a bargaining chip back and forward. This is pretty dumb. I mean, this is dumb even for the lefties. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.